Imagine paying hundreds in HOA fees every month, only to find out the guy in charge is using it as his personal piggy bank. Now imagine that same guy, the HOA president, fining you $200 because your trash can sat outside for 1 minute past 9:00 a.m., while his own yard looks like a junkyard. That's what I walked into when I moved into my quiet, suburban neighborhood. But I didn't just roll over. I found a way to bring him down, and when I did, his smug little kingdom burned to the ground. If you've ever dreamed of watching a corrupt, power-drunk bully get the downfall they so richly deserve, hit that like button, subscribe, and stick around, because this is one of the most satisfying revenge stories you'll hear today. When I bought my house, I pictured quiet evenings, friendly neighbors, and finally escaping the chaos of city life. What I got instead was Todd. Todd was the HOA president. If you've ever met someone who absolutely craves power, but is allergic to accountability, that was him. He strutted around the neighborhood like he was the mayor, barking at anyone who dared step an inch outside his rules. And oh, the rules. Trash cans had to be off the curb by exactly 9 a.m., or it was a $200 fine. Your grass couldn't be taller than 2 inches, or you'd get a violation notice taped to your door. You couldn't even have a garden gnome in your yard because it was unsightly. But Todd himself? His fence towered a full 2 feet taller than city code allowed. His yard was cluttered with unpermitted sheds and a rusty trailer. And somehow, he never paid a dime in fines. The worst part? I started noticing the HOA's miscellaneous expenses were through the roof. Tens of thousands of dollars, just disappearing every year. And every time anyone asked, Todd brushed it off with a smirk. "This is why I run things. Don't worry about it," he'd say. At first, I tried to ignore it. But when he fined me $200 for leaving my trash can out while his own trailer was literally leaking oil onto the street, that was my breaking point. I remember sitting in my kitchen, holding that violation notice, and feeling this heat in my chest. My hands were shaking, not from fear, but pure anger. It wasn't just the money. It was the humiliation, the smugness, the fact that everyone in the neighborhood was too scared or too tired to stand up to him. That night, I made a decision. Todd thought he was untouchable. He had no idea how far I was willing to go. Step 1, I started digging. I filed a request for all the HOA's financial statements under state law. Todd tried to block me, claiming I wasn't authorized. Turns out, he legally had to comply. When the documents arrived, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Todd was writing checks to vendors that didn't exist. Thousands every month going to a company registered in his brother's name. HOA funds paying for his personal lawn service. Even a $4,000 charge for community improvements that turned out to be him installing a new hot tub at his house. Step 2, I needed allies. I started talking to neighbors one by one, showing them the evidence. At first, most were scared. "He'll just fine us," they whispered. But when I laid out the full scope, tens of thousands stolen, all while he fined us for nonsense, they were furious. Step 3, the kill shot. With the neighbors on my side, we called a special HOA meeting. Legally, if 30% of residents signed a petition, we could demand a vote to remove the board. We got over 60%. The night of the meeting, Todd strolled in like he owned the place, smirking as usual. He didn't know I'd already sent the financial evidence to the state attorney general's office and the local news. I'll never forget the look on his face when we played a slideshow of every shady transaction, every fake vendor, every dollar he siphoned out of the HOA's funds. His smirk vanished. His face turned this pale, clammy gray as whispers filled the room. Then came the vote. Every single resident except one, his buddy on the board, voted to remove him immediately. And the cherry on top? 2 weeks later, the state froze his accounts and opened a fraud investigation. His house, the one with all those unpermitted structures, was seized to pay back restitution. The smug king of our HOA was left with nothing. The day the moving truck pulled up to Todd's house, the whole neighborhood gathered to watch. Some people even brought popcorn. He wouldn't look anyone in the eye as he loaded his belongings into the truck. No more hot tub, no more power trips, just a broken man, watching the empire he built on arrogance crumble to dust. And me? I stood there, sipping my coffee, thinking, this is what justice feels like. Some people think revenge is about anger. But the truth? It's about balance. People like Todd think they're untouchable, until someone reminds them that rules do apply to everyone. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell us in the comments. What's the most satisfying downfall of a bully you've ever seen? And don't forget to subscribe, because we've got more true stories of sweet, sweet karma coming your way.